I Carry on 5FM. This is the
Dave
Morales remix.
Death mix.
Wow. Now, this is Quentin Harris's favorite remix of all time. Now, Dave Morales was doing transitions like 100 years before anyone else was doing them.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed about you, though? You love your music. I mean, you've been losing it to this track that you've heard 100 times already, and you're still losing it.
Yeah. It's like hearing it for the first time.
Let's go back to Cloud 9. So Cloud 9 blows up, and
Yeah, Timmy played it 12 times in one night.
Wow.
Not even a mosquito can beat that.
And your name is all of a sudden, I guess, on people's tongues.
Yeah, yeah.
What did that do for your career? I mean,
I became, to go back to the whole hip hop thing.
Yeah.
When Timmy played that record 12 times in a night, the next thing that happened was this DJ, who I just knew him as a DJ, his name was Sting International, came up to me at this party in Brooklyn, and he was playing Cloud 9. And he said, and he knew that it was me, and he said, well, who played the keyboards on the record? And I said, I did. He said, well, I'm putting the finishing touches on Shaggy's album.
Yeah.
You want to come into the studio with me and Shaggy and put some stuff down on Shaggy?
Yeah.
So I ended up going to the studio with Shaggy, and I ended up producing 2 songs on his Close Drop album, which came out in 2008.
Yeah.
So it was like full circle. So how I got into house was almost like crazy. It was like it wasn't meant to be, but it was music, so I didn't care. I could have been doing jazz. It didn't matter. It just made me happy.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Euphonic was asking you off air about your production style.
Yeah.
Is there a Quentin Harris production style?
At first, I did not think I had a style.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started hearing it, other people do it. Things that I know that I specifically do.
Oh, like this guy's trying to sound like me right there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what would you say, in your personal opinion, other producers are doing wrong?
I wouldn't say that other producers are doing anything wrong, because there's no right or wrong way to make music. I would just say, probably from my own personal taste, is that if you're doing a remix of someone's song, unless they're specifically asking you for a dub, I don't like to break up the structure of how the song is written. So it's very rare you will hear me take the chorus or the hook and let you hear snippets of it before the first verse, because there's a story. It's like you don't read a book and go straight to the middle and then go back to the front and read it.
Yeah.
You start from the beginning and you go to the end. So that's one thing that I always did, and I didn't believe it was necessary to have like 2.5 minutes of mindless beats before you hear the first vocal. I think it's like, what do you need all that for? Get to the point.
Which goes back to your musical background, I guess, and upbringing.
Yeah, because records back in the day that were being played in clubs, you didn't have that. So I approach records. I will also say my specific style is, especially working with vocals, I like the vocal to be heard. So I always suppress myself and make a groove that's hypnotic, that locks people in, so people can listen and pay attention to that message. There have been many times I've been playing records.
You want to repeat that again?
Yeah, just repeat that again.
Get your pens out, guys.
I tend to create a hypnotic groove.
Yeah.
Like, say, for instance,
Because you're good at that, though. That's what I hate about you. You hook us the minute the track starts.
But the reason why I do that is because I like the element of surprise.
Yeah. Because
there's so many people that I've been places, I won't never play a Christina Aguilera record. I won't never play Britney Spears. So you'll trick them.
You'll make them play it.
I'll make them, because it's like, I'll lock you in with this groove that you can't deny this groove, and then all of a sudden you start hearing, there's only 2 types of people. Like, wait a minute, I'm on the floor dancing to Britney Spears. I never would have thought it.
Yeah.
And I've heard people actually on posts and on message boards say that about records that I've done.
Yeah.
Like they would never imagine themselves dancing to these records.
So what's your definition of a hypnotic groove, and how does one go about making a groove that is hypnotic? Is there some trick to it, or?
I would say it's keep it simple, stupid. That's what somebody told me a long time ago.
Yeah,
You have to keep it simple. Try not to overthink. I'll give you a perfect example. The last time I was here and I played, right before I went on, there was this record that was being played, and it was so hypnotic that the minute I got on and the DJ was playing before me, I said, what was that?
Yeah.
I must have it now, because it was so hypnotic. And it was a Cool as the Song record. He does really hypnotic grooves. It's like you're in a trance when you're hearing it. It's like you can't, and that's it.
So would you say he's your favorite South African producer?
Yes.
Would you work with him?
Yes. In a heartbeat.
Should we call him now?
Yes. Yes.
Right there.
Also, another question I want to
He
ask.
should be on speed dial, right?
No, he is. He's on 2.
Another question I want to ask you is, how does... Okay, let's say I am already producing. How do I go about making myself a better producer?
Keep producing.
Okay.
The answer is really simple. How I became doing what I was doing was because I would go and find acapellas. I would just work on everything. Like me being a machine, I did 150 records, but there's stuff that's never came out. So you can imagine what didn't come out. So,
but at that time, were you also listening to a lot of what other people were doing?
No.
Just doing you?
The only time I was listening to what other people were doing was when I would go out to the club and dance. That's when I would hear it. But I just had tunnel vision, and it was like, this is how I make music, and this is how I make it.
Were there any disadvantages to that tunnel vision?
No, I don't have any regrets.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Quentin Harris's favorite South African producer, Ulo the Song. 2336. Thanks for joining us. 5FM Power Nights every Wednesday between 10 and midnight.
Oh yeah.
Fresh and hypnotic on 5FM.
Tulo the Song, Webaba featuring Busim Tongo, one of our... Okay. I was rudely interrupted. It's a hypnotic tune that Quentin Harris digs. It's one of his favorite SA producers.
You dropped this in Italy. What happened?
The Italians lost their mind.
Yeah. You're losing your mind still listening to this tune.
Hey, every song I hear, I can remember the first moment I heard it, and exactly where I was at when I heard it. Those are the records that every record has a story behind it.
Yeah.
What do you like and hate about this scene at the moment?
What do I like? I like that now technology has made it accessible for people to make music that normally wouldn't have the ability to make music. What I hate about it is technology has been made accessible to people who make music that shouldn't be making music.
Now, talking of making music, I mean, you make a ton of tracks, and some are official, some are not. Do you get into trouble for that?
Let's see, if this was like in the 90s maybe, I would be getting big trouble. But now the record labels, back when I started doing this, is like I said, I created a void.
Yeah.
There was a void for the kind of mixes that I was doing.
Sure.
And so I filled that void. So I would go into a label and someone would say, well, only so I want to remix this Maroon 5 record. They would say, well, only so-and-so's remixing this record. And I was like, okay.
Really? Is that what you think? Okay, watch me.
So I would get my hands on the acapella and I would do the record and mix it, then I would put it out. And they saw it as free promotion because they didn't view, first of all, the majors viewed the dance music as a trivial music that doesn't make money and it's disposable because it's faceless because it's DJ driven. That's another thing I don't like about this industry.
Sure.
That it's more DJ driven than artist driven.
They know nothing about South Africa, clearly.
So I was just like, basically what happened was the same people, and I loved it because I was back in those same offices of those people that told me no, with them saying, can you please remix Mariah Carey's record? Can you please remix Justin Timberlake's record?
Yeah.
The same people that told me no. So I started from an underground perspective, whatever that means. I was eating away at anything that's popular at once was unknown. And it goes to music too. It's like when people want to hear you play as a DJ, they go, "Oh, can you play this record?" And you're like, "Oh, I gotta play this record again."
Yeah.
But at one point, those records were unknown to you, so you gotta find that balance and that common ground.
Well, didn't you think you were selling your soul? I mean, like when you start doing stuff for like Mariah Carey, that's like big commercial artists.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you're associating your name with big commercial artists. You didn't think that was gonna, I don't know.
You think I was
Kill
selling
your
out?
cred, kill your cred, yeah.
No, because when Dave Morales was doing it,
It was okay.
it was okay. So why now should it not be okay for me? Because I have people follow me on Facebook. I had a comment about that, you know, because somebody was like, well, if a select few people know what this is, and that means it's underground, that means it's good. And if everybody else likes it, that means it's pop and it's commercial, that means it's no good. Well, then Stevie Wonder sucks.
If I was going to say, doesn't politics like that piss you off? Because
Yes, it does.
all you want to do is play records.
Yeah, all I want to do is play a record. A lot of people sometimes in our scene get this elitist mentality about music when all music is related and it all comes from the same place.
You know what upsets me the most is that the people that bring politics to DJing a lot of the time actually not DJs.
And have nothing to do with it.
Well, you know what they say about opinions.
Tell us.
There are children listening.
Yeah.
Quentin, what production tools do you use?
I use as a digital audio workstation platform. I use Logic, but I also still use a lot of hardware.
So you've got a rack of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I can be walking down the street, I can have my iPhone and I'll hear a sound and I'll just record the sound and take it back and sample it. I like to make a lot of my own sounds and things like that.
Okay, so nothing is safe from you. A dripping tap
No.
could be your next hit.
No, another producer that's like that is Timbaland. Timbaland will like beat on a wall and make a kick out of it.
Yeah.
I learned that sound is everywhere from JD, also known as Jay Dilla from Slum Village. I know those guys, and I was in the studio with him one time and he needed a bass sound. So he unhooked the ground wire from the turntable and sampled the feedback and filtered it down and made a syntone bass. I said, "You are crazy." I said, "But I get it now. Sound and what you need. If you hear it in your head, you have to try to get it out of your head
And make it into music.
Yeah.
So what song made you cry?
What song made me cry? This particular song. It's a remix I did in my hotel room in Japan, like last New Year's 2009. It's Mary J. Blige, Fade Away. And at that particular time, it's when I still was trying to figure out what my next album was going to sound like, and I just felt like, okay, people want me to still do this, and I just have other problems in my life. And she sings in the song, "Sometimes I wish that I could stand here and fade away, so no one can see the tears running down my face." I played this song 7 times in Japan, and every time I was playing, I was crying, I was bawling, and people were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, because I was feeling every word that she was saying.
Yeah, you're in the zone.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? Quentin Harris in the building. It's fucking hot and midnight. We're hanging out with Quentin Harris, and this is the track that made Quentin cry. So
Always makes me cry.
So you're in Japan and you're all emotional.
Yeah.
Would you say after that stage you kind of knew where you were going with your direction music-wise?
I still didn't know. I still didn't know. I was explaining to the gentleman here that I knew what I wanted to do, but I felt my style had pigeonholed me.
Yeah, that's all people wanted to hear from you almost.
And so I had been working on an album with Ultranate. And that album was completed before I even did Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Actually, Give It To You was a part of that album with Ultra. And that was pretty much the basis of the album was done in 2007. So I still was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
In fact, before I ask you about Ultra, what's this track playing? Someone's asking right now.
This track is one of my vocal muses, Mary J. Blige, Fade Away.
All right, man. We're taking your calls on 089 1100505 if you've got any questions for Quentin. And then what are you doing in the country, bruh?
What am I doing in the country? I'm here to promote this album, brand new album, My Sacrifice. I'm also playing the 60s Party.
In Nelspruit, yeah.
Yes, with my good friend Frank Roger, who I did a record with that's going to come out real soon.
Tomorrow.
I know I'm playing somewhere else.
You're
But
at House 22
House
tomorrow.
22. Yes, House 22 tomorrow. I'm a little jet lagged. You gotta forgive me.
Now we understand. Now, you and Ultranate have a band.
Yes.
Tell us about this band.
The band is called Black Stereo Faith. And it's basically exploring all the different sides of dance music that you don't hear. More like, say, like Missing by the Rolling Stones or Talking Heads, that kind of a vibe. I'm on keyboards. We have a guitarist, a drummer, and one of the songs from my album, "Give It to You," with the 20-piece string arrangement that I did.
Yeah.
As a part of that, it's a part of that album also. Yeah. So it's like I'm trying to tie everything in.
All right.
I guess I'm getting people ready for the next sound, so to speak.
All right, taking calls for Quentin Harris. 5 high. Good man. What's a question or comment? Yeah, do you have any other South African producers that you're loving right now?
Mr. Black Coffee.
Yeah.
Mr. Black Coffee. And it's so funny, I was telling you, I didn't know he was from South Africa. I've been playing his records and didn't know he was from South Africa until like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. I said, I've been here all this time and didn't know.
Yeah.
Because normally, like the first 2 times I came here, like when I go places, I want people to give me music of, I absorb and immerse myself in the culture and the music of the places that I go. Yeah. And I just had no idea. I was like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure because he gave me a CD at the Winter Music Conference like 3 years ago. Yeah. And with Even Though and those songs were on it. Yeah. And I thought it was really good. And I've been playing his music ever since.
Nice. 5 high.
Yo, what's happening?
What's your question, buddy?
Am I gonna move to electro?
No, laptop. Do you play off CD? Are you digital? What's going on?
I play off all tools. Currently, so it depends on where I'm at. Like sometimes I may use Tractor, sometimes I might use CDs. I don't use vinyl when I travel. I use it when I'm at home. Yeah. Because for obvious reasons, it's heavy to be lugging that around.
Okay, so you're a Tractor guy. Why did you go with Tractor as opposed to, for argument's sake, Serato? Yeah.
Because I use Native Instruments plugins with Logic, and I am a effect nut.
So you want to go to town when you're playing?
Yeah, I like to take records that you've heard a million times and deliver them to you in a different way. Right. And to clear things up, I only use Tractor. It's like having my entire record collection with me. So if you hear me mixing on Tractor, you'll hear some beat matching issues because I'm not using it to beat match.
You're using it as a record box.
This is my record box.
Yeah. All right.
Then I don't have to carry all that stuff with me. It's heavy.
Question for Quentin 5 high. Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah.
Oh, why did I turn down the Alicia Keys No One remix? Yeah. Because not every song needs the treatment. And what I mean
what you felt you couldn't make it better?
I felt like what I wanted to do with it, the label didn't want me to do with it. And what I wanted to do with it was to give the song a reggae feel.
Sure.
And they were like, no, we want a dance mix. And I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. Because that song to me doesn't translate well on a dance floor. Then, later that year, I hear a reggae version of it. Somebody did it, and it sounded perfect. It sounded like No Woman, No Cry. Yeah, it's because I always even felt the original version, the music, backing music, wasn't fitting the melody.
It should have been a reggae song.
So what's your intention every time you remix something?
My intention when I try to remix something is to try to make you forget what the original sounds like. It's difficult, but there has been. Yeah. I always say there's one record in dance music history that was a remix that people do not know what the original sounds like, and that's the Nightcrawlers' "Push the Feeling."
That's true.
Yeah. Can you tell me what the original sounds like?
I don't remember. It was on the flip side of the record, right?
Yeah, it was a Northern Soul record. Yeah. And it was like, Brand New Heavies and sound like that.
It was. Yeah.
But MK took that record and it's like you don't.
They owned it.
It was like, what's that original sound like?
What's your current #1 track, bro?
My current #1 song is like it freaks people out when I tell them, but it's Hot and Fun by Nerd featuring Nelly Furtado.
All right.
Wow. It's a hypnotizing bass line, just like he says. Get into the bass line.
NERD on 5FM. This is Quentin Harris's current #1 tune. What don't you listen to?
Nothing. I listen to everything.
Yeah.
I listen to everything. If someone came to my house or looked into my playlist, they'd be surprised at some of the stuff that's there.
Yeah.
I was just listening to the soundtrack of The Last Emperor 2 days ago.
Are you gonna do a remix maybe?
I know when to leave well enough
What
alone.
not to touch? Movie soundtracks, leave them.
So
Yeah.
how does one go about getting a hold of you, finding out more info? Are you on Facebook, Twitter?
I'm
what's
on
your
Facebook.
website?
I will not tweet, but I will Facebook. That's Facebook, Quentin Harris, and I have a website, quentinharris.com, and all the other pertinent information is on both sites.
We got a message on Twitter from DJ Maluela. It says, you guys can't have Quentin on the show and not play My Joy. We're playing Quentin's 5 songs that he wants to share with us. It's not about My Joy right now, and I'm sure you've heard My Joy more times than you care to even mention, huh?
2004, it's 2010.
Thank you very much. Quentin Harris, we'll see you tomorrow at House 22 in Pretoria.
You can hear My Joy then.
Exactly. And then Nels Braid for the 60s party on Saturday.
Yes, I'm so
And
excited.
then when are you leaving the country?
When am I leaving? Which country? This country?
This
Yeah.
country,
I think I'm leaving this country the 3rd, the 4th, the 2nd, one of those days. It's all a blur.
When are you moving here?
When am I moving here?
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I'm still not done with New York yet.
Oh yeah, it is a big apple after
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
I'm not done with New York yet.
But listen, thank you very much for
Thank
taking
you.
time to join us.
Appreciate it.
We know you're tired. You could have been sleeping.
Big up.
No,
But you-
no, I was actually in the hotel working on a song.
Oh, flip. You want to play quickly? No?
No,
Okay.
it's not even done yet.
Just a quick question. What do you travel with when you produce on the road?
The same thing everyone else does.
Just your laptop and nothing else?
I travel with my laptop, a keyboard, and, so I can play, and records, music, well, not physical records, CDs,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Alright, cool.
All right. And Quentin Harris is about to leave the building. Thank you once again for joining us. Edition 26 of 5FM Power Nights. We'll be back next week. And yeah, we will see you then. Until then, have a great evening in spite of yourselves.
Funds, food.